George I. Martin.
J.I.I. Tolkien.
The eyes. The Battle of the Eyes. They both got TV shows going out, huh?
Yeah, they both produced. No, I don't know if they're actually doing it, but yeah, based on their properties.
Yeah, their properties, putting out new shows, huh?
The continuations and prequels.
And guess what? We're jumping on the bandwagon because
yeah!
we're fantasy nerds. Welcome back to the Gentleman's Sit Down. We are an untraditional podcast.
Trying to be traditional gentleman. I don't know why I said it like that.
I'm Satirius D. Lemitius.
I'm Joshua Callahan. Do we need to redo that?
Do we? Nah, we don't gotta do that. Come on. You sound like a sorceress about to
That's
cast
what
a spell.
I was doing this like ethereal thing. I wasn't kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
wanted
links.
to do it in Elvish, but I don't know how to speak Elvish.
Silmarillion. Anyway.
You just said a word.
I said a word, yeah.
Galadriel.
Galadriel.
Elrond Hubbard.
I was about to say that. Elrond.
Okay, what? What are we talking about?
Yeah, links in the descriptions
links,
for the social
ding,
medias. Yeah, follow, leave a like, leave comments, ding a bell, subscribe, all that stuff. Anyway, fantasy. Yeah.
Probably going to piss some of you off. Go ahead, tell us about it.
Yeah.
Fans out there. What?
House of the Dragon is coming out this Sunday, August 21st. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Guess what's coming out September 2nd? The Rings of Power.
Yeah, Rings of Power.
Come on.
Yeah.
First off, I think
weird.
House of the Dragon is a better title than the Rings of Power, but Rings of Power is still cool. But is it like Shang-Chi sequel or something? I mean, I don't know. It's confusing.
Well, I don't know.
Just when you hear the title, I'm saying. But we'll go ahead.
Well, it's, I don't know. I think
they're coming out recently. Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, my uncle and I were talking about House of the Dragon, and we both literally said to each other, I hope it doesn't suck. That's what we said. Rings of Power, same thing. I hope it doesn't suck. And I hope they don't try to be too, just tell the story.
Yeah.
Don't try to be too PC. Don't try to be too, woke or whatever. Like, I just want to hear the story. The story itself will be woke and PC if it's a good story and it cares about human people.
I don't pick up Rings of Power, J.R.R. Tolkien, George R. R. Martin, and think, I hope it's woke.
Exactly.
PC.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not going to be.
It's not going
to be. Just accept it. We're talking about elves, dwarves, and something. And they're going to say something wrong and do something gross.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
But we've only seen what you've seen.
Yeah,
so let's make a prediction. Which do you think will be overall better? Come on. This is fine. I just scare you.
I'm hoping House of the Dragon is going to be better because I just feel like it has the potential to be a better story. Rings of Power, I know it's kind of, it's focusing around Celebrimbor and his construction. Celebrimbor is the elf who constructed the rings for fucking Sauron before they knew it was Sauron.
Did it?
No, Sauron didn't build the rings. Sauron hired. He
compelled,
recruited. Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
Yes,
it's the first time I heard that word.
Celebrimbor.
I'm a fan of. Listen, I have more background in Lord of the Rings. Obviously, we're talking about. It's a story that was written 30s, 40s.
Yeah,
it came out.
Almost
started with The
ago.
Hobbit and da 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 da. It was like my first book was The Hobbit, and then I was like, what? There's this big, huge tome. These 3 tomes of Lord of the Rings. The adventure continues.
Yeah.
But Game of Thrones came later. Like, I always saw the books.
Came out in 96, first one.
That's right. I always saw the books because that's when I was reading books. I was getting, it was like, I want to get it so big right now and rich, and I'm finishing the series. But fast forward to when HBO kind of says, we're doing Game of Thrones. I'm like, oh, I want to read the books first because I always want to do that. They're going to mess it up. I want to read the books first. So then I started reading the books. And then, of course, fast forward to now, and I'm pissed off because I can't finish the books, but the series is finished. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's in a weird predicament. But anyway, I hear, by the way, a little update for anybody.
Both those prequels.
Oh, bless you. But
they're both prequels.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're both prequels. But I hear, by the way, talking about A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
The Winds of Winter might be coming out allegedly within the fall. Maybe people are speculated. There's nothing confirmed, but they're speculating it comes out fall next year, 2023.
Guess what? I got news for you. Update.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Time has passed.
It's been
I don't
11.
think I'm gonna pick up this friggin' book that's gonna be like some kind of epic history story and go, oh, I wonder what's happening to Stoneheart or I don't know the names anymore.
Yeah.
No, I know the name. Like, let me find out what happened to Arya. Like, I like what happened. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, man, he messed it up. People, of course, it'll be a hit. It's going to go to #1. Everybody's going to be talking about it. And I'll eventually pick it up because I want to read the continuation, his continuation of the story. However, this is where Lord of the Rings, I think, might have an edge. And, people are talking about the CGI.
Yeah.
Well, come on. It's about the narrative of the story and the performances.
They both have great CGI from what I've seen.
Yeah, but it's like, I can suspend my disbelief and go along if the story is good.
Yes.
You're going way back in both of them, way back into history. I'm like, what more story do you have to mind? Okay, what both series did really well is the history gave you impetus or vibrated or resonated with the story at the present. And then, so a good fantasy novel talks about the history of the world and the world building, and then it gives it the stakes now. It gives it impetus now. And so for both of these, they're both mining that history for narrative and going back and showing us what happened. Maybe the stakes aren't high enough because we kind of know where the story's going, but I feel like Lord of the Rings going back to Sauron and seeing that there's a lot we don't know about that time that they can really do a good job. House of the Dragon, the Targaryens, we kind of know what's in store for them. But if anything is done well, is the intrigue of the courts and the different houses. They have that going
House
for
of the
it.
Dragon's all about the Targaryen civil war that nobody really knows anything about.
Who cares then?
Because it sounds epic. It's the one house battling against themselves and the dragons in the sky killing each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's going to be, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just saying, I don't know. Targaryens, you kind of know that they go crazy and they're crazy. And crazy things are going to happen because they're crazy.
Well, 50% of them are crazy.
Because of the inbreeding or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the incest.
Incest.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing. I really,
I want to see stuff about I'm sorry, go ahead.
I
Go ahead, I just thought of something.
I just want something.
Yeah, what do you want out of it?
I want something powerful. I want something epic. That's all I want.
The Rings of Power. It has power in the title.
No.
It's powerful. Rings of Power.
Listen, I just want something epic. I want something that has political intrigue. I want something that has an in-depth story. You know what I'm saying?
I think House of the Dragon is going to stay
in
one place.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want something. I don't want something simple. I don't want something that's trying to push a narrative. I want something that's just trying to make me enter a realm of a story where I don't feel like it's a fantasy world. So I want to jump into this fantasy world and I feel like this hasn't happened in like 5-6 years. Okay. Watching a fantasy movie or TV show where you literally feel like you're being taken to another place. It feels like everything that's being made now gives you this like, oh, well, we're taking you on this fantasy, but you still feel like you're in your world. You feel like
modern take.
No, you feel like you're in your world. You're still in your reality because we're bringing the problems of our reality into this story.
Yeah, like it's a modern story because of modern problems, but dressed up like a dragon and in leather tunics. I don't like that.
It's just to me, like, maybe I'm too pretentious saying this, but I feel like, you can't hide it better. Like you're not talented enough of a writer to hide it better. Like you are. So why are you trying to make it too obvious? Just hide it better. Like you could tell a louder story without having to be so, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I think Game of Thrones did something. The mistake that it had, but was part of the charm, is they didn't own up to the fantasy. You didn't know at the beginning if there was a world of magic. They talked, all the magic was talked about past tense. The dragons back then, the magic, the witches, the things that happened. And then slowly but surely you understand, no, this magic and these other beings and these dragons, they exist now. Yeah. And it didn't happen till the end of the first book, end of the first series, that they owned it, and then kind of it started playing and having an effect. Yeah. And Lord of the Rings is like, elves exist, dude. We got rings of power. We got gems and dwarves that are building mountains and stuff, and dragons hoarding gold. Let's go.
There's magic everywhere.
Now go. Yeah. You know, it's like, now go. Start a story. I love that. Even though it's supposed to be like, what is that, Middle Earth? Is it prehistory or is it a post-history? People like, talk about that related to our planet. I think it's another planet. It's another planet. But whatever.
Another plane, yeah.
and like Westeros, it's another planet. It's another thing.
Yeah.
But I would really like House of Dragon. What I want to explore the world. This place that's far away, Azar High or whatever. I can't remember. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. I love all the different weird sounding things. And like Valeria with the dragons, and show me the Summer Islands and the things, and show me the pirate stories from, Euron and the first one. Go back and do that. I don't know. But I don't want to be stuck on like, what is it called? Dragonstone and the King's Landing. I don't want to be stuck there. I was like, okay, it was good.
Well, we're in Westeros. I don't think we'll be stuck there, but most of it's going to be in Westeros.
Yeah, I'm bored already. Snooze. I'm falling asleep. If they go to the wall again, I'm gonna hit skip. You're gonna take me to the wall? I don't want to watch a story about a wall.
Yeah, it's not the story. We already watched that story.
Well, luckily it wasn't about the wall, but then went back and forth. It was intriguing for a minute. And then how the Northerners get through the wall quicker? Was it about immigration? What is it, a theme? Like, is it an analogy about something? Like, you're right about modern problems being like forced into the narrative of something with dragons and sorcery and.
Yeah, I just want to hear a great story. Okay, and you can put
take me on a journey.
Yeah, that's it. I want the story to feel like it's in its own world. That's all. I'm not saying, like, look, to create a story, right? You need to take your own personal life, your own personal events, and put it in the story, right? We all know that. Okay. So things that bother you in this reality, in your life, you have to put it in your story, right? Because otherwise your story won't feel natural, won't feel realistic. It won't have any substance to it because you're not putting yourself in it. But I don't know. I just don't want it to be so obvious of what the writer or the director is pissed off about in our modern climate of whatever, whether it be political or social.
Led to the introduction of democracy and not a king's king leadership, like a monarchy.
Monarchy, yeah.
So. Yeah, and again, it didn't seem like it was going there, although it was ruled by the people. Like it crafted it pretty well, right? You agreed that it hit it, or do you think it was nail on head? I kind of see what you're doing here, George R.R.
Well, I feel like the ending, David and Dan, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. I feel like everybody says it, and it's pretty obvious. They rushed the ending, and everybody knew that they didn't have to rush the ending. They could have had. Apparently, HBO said you could do a few more seasons. Even George R.R. Martin said you should do another 5 more seasons. I don't know. Who knows?
Hey, they did it. It's done. Whatever.
Yeah, it's over.
But I would say that I kind of lost what I was going to say. But I had this really good thing that I wanted to say about Game of Thrones. But J.R.R. Tolkien. Yeah. That's what it was. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote his Lord of the Rings as a reaction to the world wars and the powers that be from far away. So, but he hit it really well.
Yes.
He hit it, I think, in the epicness of the story, and the elements that resounded were in different places. Going to get a talisman is still part of it.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier with the issues. You can't hide it. Like, you can't hide it well. Like, it's not like it's the power of your story is not that you take what's happening in real life and then you have a bitch fit about it in your story. You know what I'm saying? You don't just write a bunch of lines that are taking you out of the immersion of your story so that you could give a big old fuck you to whoever it is you're pissed off about in your world, in your reality. No, you keep it in this immersive reality that you've crafted and created, and you create lessons through that immersion. Oh, my world, my realm, my fantasy realm is going through its own issues, but I'm tying it. Yes, I'm tying it. Yes, I'm influenced by my real world issues.
Of course.
But I'm putting it in this immersion, this reality, this fake reality, and I'm letting you feel the impact that I felt, not through the same events that happened to me to make me feel the way I felt, but events that happened that led to the same impact in my story, so that you could feel the impact that I felt and realize, oh, here's the greater lesson. This overall thing that causes harm or is negative is bad, and it can be used in multiple ways, not just the one way that it hurt me, but also in this way that I concocted for my immersive reality, that now you feel that what I feel, even though it happened in a different way.
And that's Game of Thrones did it right or wrong?
I think Game of Thrones did that correctly. I think Game of Thrones, you can't
they
tell.
They threw in Dragonfire and a little bit of wildfire.
Lord of the Rings did it too correctly, right? Like you said, he's talking about
trees is about conservation and stuff.
Yeah, and nobody thinks about that now. Everybody loves trees because tree beard.
Yeah. They're hugging trees.
And to me, that's genius writing. That's intelligent writing, and it's also great for me as the person who's experiencing the story, where I still feel like I'm in this world.
I want it to be like a little bit of like poetry, where you can kind of, that they're doing it right. Then you can find, oh, that's like this. That equates this in my life. No, it's about this in my life, and I want to be able to go, you're both right. Because of the poetry, and it's like poetry. A poem can mean many different things to certain people, yes. and still be able to hide the themes of the waking world while you go into your dream world or your escapist world. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I go in there for an escape, but you want something to resonate. You want something that this vibes with me because the underdog or the whatever. It can be simple or it can be more specific, but I think they both have a chance to meander.
Yes.
These two stories coming out. Yes. These two prequel stories have a chance to meander and just be like eye candy for the fans and be like a money grab.
Yes.
They both
have
a chance for that.
I don't want them lingering. Like, don't tell your story longer than it needs to be told because you want to make money off of it. It's a different...
I was not excited for House of the Dragon, the HOTD. But when I saw the footage, I was like, oh, okay, maybe we'll open it up. And what brought me in was their bond with the dragons and the people and the houses. It's that simple.
Yeah.
But I know the show is going to be more complicated than that. So, and the same thing with the Rings of Power, ROTP. I heard if people were bugged, like, oh, it looks too, I don't care about, I mean, I do care about the look.
Yeah.
But it's on a TV, so my expectations are not super high.
Yeah.
But they are high enough because of the property. But I was less excited about that until I saw footage, and not footage like a trailer, but scenes from it. Then when I saw scenes from it, and I heard the actors dialogue. They have good unknown actors playing Galadriel and Elrond,
which is good.
Intrigued,
which is good because I'm tired of seeing. No offense to the big time actors, they're good. They're great at what they do, but I'm tired of seeing the same faces in everything that ever exists.
Game of Thrones, they hired a lot of unknowns,
exactly,
and they did it really well. And it was perfect. They had Sean Bean with that stunt casting, and then boom, at the end of the season, you're like, what?
Yeah,
where's the Bean Man?
Yeah.
Come on.
He's like the only star that people recognized.
And he was in both properties.
Yeah. He's traversed different realms.
He has, my friend. He's the Bean Man. He can do that.
But yeah. I just really hope that House of the Dragon... I'm kind of hoping that House of the Dragon is good. I'm not too concerned about Rings of Power.
Yeah, you have less expectations for the Rings of Power.
I have less
higher expectations for Game of Thrones.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yes, probably mainly because the movies, that Lord of the Rings movies, were done so well. You know, I know The Hobbit was, a lot of people, don't like it, and it was drawn out or whatever, but Lord of the Rings movies did really well. So
going back to Moria,
I'm not
the
as,
Mines of Moria.
yeah, like I'm not that concerned about Rings of Power. All right, nor do I feel like I don't feel like it's gonna be great either, but I don't feel like it's gonna be bad. I feel like it's gonna be typical, like it's a nice Lord of the Rings, right?
I don't have faith. I don't have faith in them to do it right, so I'm kind of apprehensive, and I do that now. It's like a safety mechanism. My expectations are always low, but I have, in secret, if I was being honest with you, I have higher expectations, and I want Rings of Power to be better because I want to go back to that world, going back further into it, and seeing. I really want them to do it well, but I kind of feel like they're not. So I kind of like
they could do
House of
really
Dragons.
well.
I don't care about the not that I don't care about. Not that I take it back. I felt like we have Game of Thrones. We're so close to the Game of Thrones and how they kind of roughed up the ending. I didn't mind the ending, but it was, it
was rushed.
It was rushed and didn't have the care that the other seasons did.
Yes.
Ipso facto.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I'm more recently scarred by the last season than the last 3 movies of The Hobbit, which was still enjoyable, and Peter Jackson.
It was still fun.
It's still fun.
It weren't great.
It was an escape. It wasn't as
they weren't as Lord of the Rings level.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Lord of the Rings is a whole. That was Oscar-worthy stuff.
It's a bigger, better story though. It's a more important. The stakes are higher. All that.
That too.
So it's. And they did it in reverse.
That's what I'm saying. Like I need House of the Dragon to just.
Putting your chips in House of the Dragon.
Take me on a trip because it has the most potential. It's the richest.
Get on Dragon back and get flown into the story.
Here's the thing: Rings of Power. What are they gonna do? Because
from find the Rings of Power.
What I understand is, what are we gonna do? We're gonna see the story of Sauron disguising himself as an elf, and he has a name. I forgot the alias.
I want to see him. See, I don't know that.
Yeah, but he has an alias, and then
you read the Silmarillion, didn't you?
I've dabbled in the Silmarillion.
You dipped your toe in the Silmarillion?
Quite a bit, and I've watched a lot of things on it. But and I know he recruits Celebrimbor to build the Rings of Power. He manipulates the elves and all that stuff. Okay. And but like there's not a lot of it's not like Lord of the Rings. There's not going to be a lot of battles. There's not going to be a lot of there's political intrigue because you're going to have Sauron doing the ultimate fucking manipulation and
screwing up all the humans and the dwarves and the
elves. But I don't feel like humans are going to be as involved in this story. I don't know, because I don't see how they are involved until the 9 ring wraiths. Well, the 9 kings who eventually become the ring wraiths.
Well, we're going to see them in the flesh, maybe.
Yes, we are. We're going to see them in the flesh because they get 9 rings of power.
I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. Okay, good start. Bring me in.
Which is nice because honestly, my favorite characters in Lord of the Rings, aside from Aragorn and maybe Legolas, is the ring wraiths. They're the cool. I think they're fucking cool as shit. But I like them before they're riding around on the fucking flying serpents. I like them when they're on the horses.
All they were in the Lord of the Rings was slow motion capes and it was like dark and it was like a mood. But when they come out on the mountain and they come out of the rocks, you know what I'm saying? And that's when they're at the high top or whatever it's called. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
And they come out in that first fight with Aragorn, and he's with the Hobbit. With
yeah.
And they come out of the like, whoa.
The Watchtower.
The Watchtower.
Yes. Yeah, it's real cool. I think they're cool.
See, I even forget a lot of the names. I want to go back.
And they're cool.
I can go back to Middle Earth.
But that's cool because they're also great villains because they lose the way they're supposed to lose. That's what makes them cool too. That's why they
lose the way they're supposed to lose?
That's like when you watch a villain, I don't know if anybody else does this, but when you watch a villain, you want them to lose properly, right? And I always feel like the ring wraiths lose properly. They get like a justifiable defeat. You understand? Does that make any sense?
It makes sense, but I'm just trying to remember how. Because the girl took over the guy and...
Well, the way they lose the ring wraiths, the way they lose in the Watchtower, the way they lose in the river, when they get swept away.
By the way, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
The way they get fucking crushed and defeated in the Battle of Gondor.
That was the one.
Yeah. And he's like, he turns into a black hole. Like, it sucks in on himself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. And I just need House of the Dragon to, just live up to that, I don't see how Rings of Power they can't recreate what Lord of the Rings did. That's why I think I have less expectations.
It's trying to be different. And
it's
so
trying
you
to
don't
be
know
different,
how.
and there's less battles. It's gonna be more dialogue. I think that, I mean, to me, if that's the only way they could do it right, more dialogue, get people more involved in the
They're
intrigue.
trying to solve the mystery.
Yes,
of
exactly.
Sauron.
You have to create.
If they do that well,
Exactly. They have
to be gold.
They have to create kind of like a fantasy film noir vibe they got to do. You know? It's kind of what they got to do.
You get Sauron, see?
Yeah.
Galadriel stepped in my cave like a...
House of the Dragon still has everything Game of Thrones had. The sexual intrigue, the wartime.
How long did we get a dick shot from House of Dragon?
I don't know. But I do know that one of the main characters,
First episode.
one of the main characters is gay. I do know that. He's
a character?
He's a main character. Yeah, the character. He's gay, not the actor. The gay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the actor's gay or not. But the character is gay, and it's important because he's married to the queen, who is a Targaryen, and I believe he's a Targaryen bastard Targaryen. I don't know how it works, but he is gay, and she has kids with a lover because her husband is gay, doesn't want to fuck her, and boom. I know that. So I know
like a Hallmark movie set back in Westeros.
Yeah, I'm just saying you have the potential to still have the political intrigue, the wartime intrigue, and the sexual intrigue that Game of Thrones had. Don't let me down. That's what I'm saying.
Don't let me down.
I think we covered it.
George R.R., J.R.R., don't let us down. Come on.
Battle of the Oz. I think we covered it.
I think we covered it.
You think we covered it?
I'm watching them both.
I'm gonna watch
equally apprehensively and equally hopeful.
Yeah. Well,
we'll come back and tell you what we think.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, we definitely will.
Yes! Yeah, baby! Dragons!
House of the Dragon was sick. The episode ended and I wanted more. So, yeah, Rings of Power, you got some heavy competition. You really do. That was awesome.
Me likey, and I want more. Give me more dragons!
I've been Soterius Delimitius.
I've been Joshua Kelly.
We've been the Gentlemen Sit Down. We hope you have a great week. We'll catch you next week. Peace. Also, don't forget, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. What are you excited about? All that stuff. Yeah. Ding that bell and stuff like that. Catch you later. Peace.
Send us an owl.